Welcome, seekers of self-growth. You're watching Mini Mind Hack, a space where psychology and philosophy meet literature and sociology. And today, we're adding neuroscience to the mix. Today, we explore ASMR in depth, what it is, how it affects the brain, and why it may be doing something important in our modern, overstimulated world. ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, refers to the tingling sensations many people experience on the scalp, neck, or spine when exposed to soft audio-visual stimuli like whispers, tapping, or slow hand movements. But behind what seems like a simple comfort mechanism lies a network of neural processes. In 2018, Canadian researchers Stephen D. Smith, Beverly K. Fredborg, and Jennifer Cornelson, psychologists and neuroscientists from the University of Winnipeg, carried out a study using functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. This method is essentially a type of brain scan that shows which areas of the brain are active while a person experiences something. In their experiment, they looked at people who are sensitive to ASMR and measured how their brains respond during those tingling sensations. They found activation not only in the medial prefrontal cortex, associated with social cognition and self-awareness, but also in the nucleus accumbens, which is part of the brain's reward circuitry. These regions are also implicated in experiences of social bonding and consolation. In 2018, Julia Lara Puerio, a psychologist from the United Kingdom, and her colleagues conducted a study titled More Than a Feeling, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, ASMR, is related to trait openness and neuroticism, in which they surveyed more than 500 participants. It showed that individuals who report experiencing ASMR tend to score higher on personality traits like openness to experience, meaning a sensitivity to aesthetic and sensory stimuli, and sometimes higher neuroticism, which may make them more vulnerable to stress. ASMR appears to act as a self-soothing approach for such individuals. There is also experimental work from 2015 by British psychologists Emma L. Barat and Nick J. Davis, titled Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, a flow-like mental state. In this study, EEG data suggested that ASMR can induce a brain state similar to mindfulness or flow, with reduced beta wave activity and increased alpha frequencies, both of which are linked to relaxation. People report lower heart rate and skin conductance during ASMR, markers of physiological relaxation. So what do these results suggest? Neurologically, ASMR seems to engage brain systems of reward, social connection, and emotional regulation. Philosophically, it aligns with ideas of presence, aesthetics, and ritual. But socially, it meets modern needs. Our brains are under constant informational bombardment. Notifications, alerts, content overload. Back in 2009, researchers Eyal Ophir, Clifford Nass, and Anthony D. Wagner, experts in communication and neuroscience at Stanford University in the United States, carried out one of the first major studies on media multitasking. They found that when people try to juggle several streams of media at once, like checking emails, scrolling social media, and listening to music, the brain has to work much harder. This increased mental effort, known as cognitive load, often leads to stress and reduced focus. By contrast, ASMR provides a very different kind of experience. Carefully curated, minimal input that gently guides attention and helps relieve that overload instead of adding to it. The Korean-German philosopher and cultural critic Byung-Chul Han, in his 2015 book The Burnout Society, describes how modern life pushes people into constant self-optimization, always performing, always trying to be more efficient. He argues that this invisible pressure leads to exhaustion and burnout. Seen from this perspective, ASMR can be understood as one way people try to reclaim moments of calm and resistance against that pressure. Empirical stress surveys from the American Psychological Association, such as the Stress in America reports, have documented rising anxiety and depression among young adults globally. In practice, listening to ASMR isn't just passive. When you choose triggers that feel soothing to you in a quiet setting, turning off distracting notifications and focusing on the sensory experience, your brain responds. You get reduced activity in the amygdala, fear center, increased activation in areas of reward and social cognition, and measurable decreases in heart rate and skin conductance. So the deeper question we end with, ASMR isn't just a trend, it's evidence of something missing for many of us. Safe spaces, sensory simplicity, calm. It shows that despite all our technological advancement, part of what people crave is the same ancient need for auditory ritual, for closeness, for quiet beauty. I look forward to exploring more with you. Thank you for watching. If you found this video enlightening, please like, comment, or subscribe to support more content like this. The description below includes studies and sources for deeper reading. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. Let's meet again soon.